Here we go. The special council meeting for Tuesday, April 12th, 2022 is called to order at 7:09 p.m. Going to stand for a moment of silent meditation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk, may I please have roll call, please?
Roll call. Mayor Nickerson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Erbaum.
Present.
Councilperson Perella.
Here.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Martin.
Present.
Also present for the record, Janice Jacoby, Village Clerk, Christy Alou, Village Manager, and Joseph Geller, Village Attorney.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. For approval of the agenda, I do have something that I think that Vice Mayor Erbaum wants to add. But Vice Mayor Erbaum, you could probably do that in good and welfare. Yeah. That being said, we have the, do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Vice Mayor Erbaum. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing none, moving on. Next thing is resolution ordinance. This is the second reading for the ordinance. We already had the first reading. Attorney Geller, if you want to read the ordinance into the record for us, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Attorney Geller. Any questions or comments from the council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from the audience? Come up, say your name and address for the record. And the floor is yours. Yes, thank you very much.
Hi, Jay Rivero, 225 Northeast 86th Street. I've been hearing a lot about this loan and payment pending from the states, from the federals, and everybody. I would like to know what is the actual balance of the loan today? Because I know that $700,000 is not the loan amount that is outstanding. And I'd like to know whether bank shopping was done. How come you're coming to pay 6.75% interest rate when average bank loans are at 3.50, bad credit 4.10?
So the rate that we have left is $679,000 and $750 with 56 cents. The interest rate actually has dropped. I don't know if you guys want to get into that.
To what?
Yeah, let her come in for that.
Good evening. So yes, the interest rate.
Can't hear.
Oh, okay. My name is Joe. It won't go. They taped it. Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, you're gonna have
All
to
right.
come like right here.
Okay, that's fine. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, my name is Jolinda Herring. I'm with the law firm of Bryant Miller Olive. My address is 1 Southeast 3rd Avenue, Suite 2200, Miami, Florida. Yes, the rate did drop to 5.73%, is what you'll be paying on that loan. And the mayor did give you correctly the outstanding amount. So the total amount that you were actually borrowing is $697,532.99. That includes interest to date as of April the 14th and legal fees associated with the transaction.
So we have over $20,000, give or take, in legal fees and interest to pay?
It's about 17.
Was there another bank shop for a better rate?
Does the mayor want me to respond?
What was that?
He's asking if we shop for a different bank.
She can respond. We've had, when we were going through this, we had meetings with like other banks, and we had meetings with Synovus. And because of, first of all, the history of it, but second of all, because of the place that we're in with the whole thing with FEMA, and we had to get the money back from FEMA. And even though, you know, we repaired the relationships, we got some of the money back so far to where, you know, our new balance is not in the millions anymore, thankfully. But at the same time, other banks that we don't have a relationship with, they weren't so open to doing business with us because, you know, in a lot of people, when they look at it, they're in their mind is, you know, there's no guarantee that you're going to get the money back from FEMA. So we could either have defaulted on our loan and just been in default, or we could work with the bank that was willing to give us at least one more chance.
So is that where I see here that the collateral for this loan is in fact the promised reimbursable FEMA funds?
Yeah. So when FEMA money comes in, as it did last time, as soon as it comes in, we don't even hold on. Like, it comes in and goes right out to pay the loan. Like, we don't even have a choice of what to do with the money. So.
Since it's on the public hearing, what is the status of the FEMA reimbursement?
So the reimbursement, right?
4 years, 5 years now?
Yeah. So and I've been mayor for a little over a year, almost 2, a year and a half. But the election's in November, so like a year and a half. You know, when I came in and when we got the new council in, you know, we did get, you know, the $400,000 and some odd dollar payment. We did get the $100,000 some odd dollar payment. At that particular time, you know, thanks to Attorney Geller, thanks to Manager Alou, we were doing so many meetings, and at that particular time, we built a relationship. These relationships had been broken in the past, but we repaired those relationships, and we had a key person that was in charge of all of FEMA. That key person has now retired and moved on. So now, right, we actually, what was it, last week and this week, we're actually in talks right now with setting up the meeting with the new person, who's the new key person. And I have no doubt that, you know, once we get in there, we're going to be setting up, you know, that relationship also, and things will move forward in a positive way. We do hear positive things. It's just that, like we said, that key person that was there, who was in charge of everything that we made that relationship with, Jared Moskowitz, and I'm gonna have Attorney Geller come in a second. Jared Moskowitz unfortunately stepped down from that position and has moved on. Attorney Geller.
So let me add to what the mayor said to try to fully answer the question. Originally, FEMA obligated to reimburse all the money. They made a subsequent decision that they wanted more documentation on a number of things. And we undertook to provide that additional documentation. We actually had to, technically, appeal a decision that they made subsequently. We're not alone in that. Miami Shores was in a similar situation. I think so was Florida City.
City also.
But we were a little more difficult with the provider than some of the other cities. They had arranged for counsel to handle the appeal. Miami Shores has been paying the bill for that. But we said that, we felt that not having provided the documentation sufficient for FEMA was the responsibility of who we had hired to handle that. And so we made an arrangement where the counsel that the provider had selected would be paid not by the village, but by the provider. They're paying the fees to that, pretty high-powered law firm, but just so we would be sure we monitored it, I've also acted as co-counsel on the record for the appeal to be sure that we're notified of everything that we've done. And candidly, although my agreement says if I'm handling litigation, I'm supposed to be paid separately for that, but because this is so important to the village and is such a problem, I am not billing the village for my time on the appeal. I haven't submitted any bills. So we are pursuing this appeal at this point at no cost. We have an upside and not a downside. We should get it. I mean, I've looked at the documentation that we've submitted as part of our appeal. If there's justice, we'll get our money. Now, I know you've been around and I've been around, and not all the time does justice get done, but I've seen the documentation. They should pay us. If they don't pay us everything they owe us, I mean, I think we'll get more than we have. I'm hoping we'll get all of it. That would wipe out the loan 100%. It's been a problem. One of the reasons, just kind of off topic, but from your other question, is because by taking that loan, we had exhausted reserves, which we're trying now to rebuild, but it left the village in a kind of a weakened financial condition in terms of getting other banks to loan us money. Fortunately, because frankly this council has acted very responsibly. In fact, the core of it, the three that were here, and then the two additional ones that came on, we're able to rebuild the village's financial condition. That's been happening. The bank we're at that already had the loan was willing to basically roll it over for a year while we try to get this money from FEMA. And we're paying, is my understanding, and Ms. Herring can correct me, it's interest only for this year, is that? Yes. So instead of asking us to be paying it down over this year, they're giving us the benefit of paying interest only. That may be why it doesn't look as competitive with what another bank advertises, but they want to be paid down as you go, and they might not give us a very long period. $700,000 for this village is a lot of money. So they're giving us interest only, something very affordable, in the hopes that, I mean, it's been many months since we submitted this appeal. It would be nice if they would, if I can use colorful language, if they would act on the damn thing already. But we have, like I said, from my review and the review of the lawyers that we're not paying to handle this, that they're paying, that the provider is paying, they still feel we owe them some funds. At the end of the day, we dispute that and think maybe they owe us some money. But everybody's interest is served by getting FEMA to pay, getting rid of this loan. We're focused on that at this point. The rest can sort itself out. And you know, like I said, we can't say there's a guarantee, but the bank is confident enough to give us an interest-only loan for another year. At the end of that, hopefully it's reduced, wiped out. If not, we'll be looking at having to make some other arrangements, but at least with development coming into the village, putting off these repayments to the bank, as we have done and continue to do, means that instead of having to raise taxes on homeowners, we can put off the repayment and let some of this development that's coming in, like Cavista, start to pay more property taxes, and that way deferring the money owed, even at a slightly higher interest rate, means no tax hikes now, and hopefully none in the future as money rolls in. So that's kind of a window into the strategy we're trying to employ here.
Okay. Attorney Geller, and I'm sorry I'm gonna take up more time here since I'm the only resident
We're here
that's
for you.
concerned.
We're here for residents, sir,
And I would
so
like
please.
this to be posted on the website because I got the email, notice of the invite here, but I know some of my neighbors do not get it. So all this documentation and update should be on the village website, which is not. So I would appreciate that to be out there for everybody to be concerned, because if this doesn't ever get paid, our taxes are gonna go up again. Kind of, year over
Hopefully,
year.
hopefully, sir, the development will mean that there will be money, and the fact that the village is also aggressively seeking grant and other kinds of money, hopefully those things mean there will not ever have to be a tax hike, even if that has to be paid
Right.
back.
Hopefully, but
hopefully.
5.73 on 700,000 balloon payment, you're talking about a lot of money. You mentioned there's an
Let me
upside.
correct one thing, sir. It won't be a balloon. This is a one-year
Interest
interest
only,
only, but they've
payable at
said
the
that
end.
if not, they would do what's called, they would term it out over, I don't know, 5 years, 7 years, still subject to negotiation, where we would still have time to make small principal reductions as we went. So
Right. Now, you mentioned something about an upside. How much an upside on this money? How much does FEMA owe the village? Because, again, I'm asking this because there are so many new residents here and people that do not get this email. And since this is, again, not on the website, nobody knows what's going on. I know because I've been here before and after Hurricane Irma. So how much is FEMA right now, if they were to pay, how much are they supposed to be paying?
someone may know
Right.
better than me.
Right now, if FEMA was to pay, they are paying $679,750.56. Let me just say for the record, I opened up the website. The very first thing I saw, and I'll go back to it, as soon as the website opens, is this public notice for this, which also has the ordinance right there. The entire ordinance is right there.
The public notice is there, but the history or documentation of the loan is not.
So you want like a certain area that says that in
Financial
certain
status
year,
and loans,
it
yes,
hit, and then this year this was passed, this resolution this year, this resolution this next year.
yes.
Okay, we can do a whole history of it. But
If you got the email as a resident, then it should be on the website, because when I send it to you guys and I blind copy you, I also copy the webmaster.
no, that it's on the website.
So it's there.
It's on the website, and it even says the amount and everything. But what he's talking about is he wants to see from the very beginning of when the hurricane hit up until now the entire history in between. That's what he's talking about.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like a book. Like he wants to see like the timeline. That's what he's saying.
Okay,
Which
that
we
can
could
be
set up.
public request too.
Yeah.
You can request that. Or you want it for the residents, you mean?
I want it for the residents.
Okay. If they're interested,
Publish
they,
it on the website for every resident of the
I don't
village
have that
of-
information once you get that information.
Yeah, we just have to take time. It's going to take time to gather it all because we have to gather all the past resolutions and all the past ordinances and put them. Yeah, no, they're on there, but he wants it in order all together, like in a
Or-
special place on the website, which is going to take a long time to gather all the resolutions, all the ordinances from all the different meetings over all these years and put them in order. So
Do you want 850 homes asking a public request?
You know, the best part about your coming is because you're showing an interest.
Of course. It's my taxes
Uh,
eventually.
The best part of you coming is that you're showing an interest in terms of what it would have taken, because we're not gonna utilize those kinds of funds or effort for every time we have something that's that critical. What we will have, and what we've always had, is a public records request long before. And that way, it gives the clerk time to put together the information. It gives us time to look and review. What we've heard here is from the attorney, has been a positive effort to have, so that we wouldn't have to have this. But because FEMA did not do it, has not provided for that, now we're being responsive, as the words of the city attorney, the village attorney has indicated, we're doing a proactive thing because this should have gone away a long time ago. So your interest in it, not because we haven't paid it, but because it was owed to us. But
Correct.
now that we are on the receiving end of trying to move forward, what Attorney Geller has indicated is the best results, because we're not satisfied either that it's still existing here almost 2 years later, when it was really a FEMA disposition. So your presence is probably the same frustration that we had as a council, but what we have to do now is make things right regardless.
Right. And again, I know the history. I've been in majority of all these meetings, but since Hurricane Irma to today, I would say at least 25% of the village is new. And the history of this outstanding monies with FEMA and the loan going back and forth, people need to be aware of that. So if you could build a bucket on the website so that you don't have 850 people coming in here asking for it, you're working proactively, not reactively. So is my suggestion for that.
Suggested, acknowledged, very
For-
much so.
So the FEMA payment is 679,000. The loan that's being done is 697,000. We're going to be upside down. Do we have the money to pay that difference if FEMA reimburses the village completely?
Yes. Yes, I believe we do in the reserves at the moment. We're talking a difference of 20,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, yes. We do have that in the reserves and would be able to.
So eventually, I do not expect a percentage of,
Yep.
of taxes going up.
Yeah. So I would like to take the opportunity and remind the public, certainly yourself included, that when this originally it was a line of credit, it was supposed
Right.
to last, right? That meeting where that line of credit was approved, we had more than assurances. We had a verbal guarantee from the provider, DP&O, Gabrielle Benini, told the council that we would be made whole within 120 days. And just as you said, here we are 4 years later, untold costs, and I absolutely understand what you're saying about you're going to be paying the taxes, because even if the millage rate does not go up, we still have less power to get things done for the village. So it's essentially still an extra tax when you look at it that way, in terms of not being able to take advantage of opportunities and get things done because of the ongoing costs that this is inflicting upon the village. So I'm with you 100% on this.
Regarding the weakened financial conditions, do we have the financial reports from the CFO yet?
we're working on the financial reports. As far as the audits, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still working on the audits from the CFO. We have 1 year completed, I believe, but we're still far behind on that. But I mean, we're catching up fast from when the new CFO got in.
Which year is it that's completed?
The year that's completed is 2019, I believe.
Yes, he's just 2 items away from completion for 2019. Just 2 items left to remaining.
So we are still 2 items away from having that completed, though? So we don't
Yeah.
have a full completed audit yet, then? Is that right?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what it's-
correct. If you remember last meeting, I told you guys that we were having problems with our previous CFO with getting the information that we needed. So that was part of the slow up, but we started to fix that as some information has started to come in. And I told you guys we were handling that. And so since last meeting, which was a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago, we moved forward in a high way. So
Has that previous CFO received a legal demand letter to provide the information or whatever? I mean, has there been any legal work against him?
My information is I asked about sending that, but I was told he did respond. I saw the response. He furnished the information. There was a little confusion, but I don't send letters like that unless somebody refuses. And when they
Right.
cooperate, and apparently he did, there was some confusion over some passwords, but he provided everything else, and I think that's what some of it is voluminous.
Mm-hmm.
So the current CFO, my understanding is going through it, but there's nothing he's not received from the former guy. There are some things I think, I may be wrong, but I think the 2 items are things that the county has to furnish us that are voluminous, and that's, I think, are the 2 things we did.
Okay. Thank you very much for the update, and hope to see information on the website for new residents to see. Thank you.
yeah, I do want to say that if you guys remember when I first became mayor, I had the village clerk send out a letter explaining just how much money we got back, how much money is left over. So that did go out to all the residents. So, all right. Thank you very much, everybody. So, any more questions or comments from the council for the second reading of the loan renewal? Remember, as was stated up here by not only Jolinda, but by our resident, JR, remember the bond council payment is also part of this, the $700,000, the $10,000 bond council payment is also part of this. Which there was I'm bringing that up because there was the attachments also was in your agenda package for that.
Okay, thanks for that, because that was my question, that was including the $10,000 for the bond.
Yeah, it's part of the
okay.
$700,000.
And now, so what we have in front of us is the bank's sort of a statement or
the letter.
the letter from the bank, and it shows that 6.26. So is that gonna, even if it passed today, it's just that's gonna be fixed on the. Okay.
All right. Any last questions or comments from the
That's good.
council? Hearing none, may I ask for a motion to approve ordinance? The ordinance number for this, Madam Clerk, is 22-2. May I have a motion to include
Again, please, I'm sorry. What was the word?
20, yeah, 02.
2022-02. Thank you.
Yeah, the reason.
He gives an opinion as no council, and I give an opinion as village council.
Yes, of course. And the reason why you guys, we do the ordinances like this, just for so everybody understands, is that when we do resolutions, the number usually is already there of what resolution for that year. But since the ordinance takes 2 readings, we don't know if it's going to pass the 2nd reading. So until it passes the 2nd reading or is announced the 2nd reading, then we give it a number. So this is the 2nd ordinance of 2022. So do I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-02?
So
Moved by Councilperson Martin. Do I have a second? I'll second. Second by Councilperson Perrella. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Roll call. Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
Yes.
Councilperson Perrella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Urbon.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Moving on to good and welfare. If there's anybody from the audience, before I turn it over to you, Vice Mayor, anybody from the audience have anything they want to say, you can come up, say your name, address for the record, and you have reasons to say so.
Mayor, didn't we add the body council? retainer agreement?
We did.
You just added it to the whole.
Yes.
So we should take a quick vote on that as well, approving the bond council agreement.
The bond council agreement, the 10,000 is part of the 700,000. There was an attachment in there's a attached document. There's a
Okay,
supplemental
so it
document.
does not need separate approval?
No.
Okay.
There's a supplemental document.
I've approved it legally, so that's fine.
Okay.
All right, so hearing nobody for good and welfare, Vice Mayor Urban, the floor is yours for Arbor Day.
We will be posting online and getting the word out, but we do have a date for the Arbor Day Festival, which will be April 30th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we will be back to the original format of a representing your roots potluck. So people will be encouraged to bring a dish. There'll be like a self-serve buffet of potluck. So if you would like to bring a dish that represents your roots, you'd be more than encouraged to do so. The Untitled Women's Club will be helping the tree board put on the event, April 30th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the Nature Trail.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Urban. Hearing anybody else for good and welfare? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, before you
Oh,
adjourn,
yes.
let me just say, there are some documents that our bond council needs signed,
We'll sign.
that require everybody's signature. So on your way out, please stop and sign. I reviewed all those documents. They're prepared by very excellent bond counsel. But if you have any questions before you want to put your name on it, I'll be happy to answer any. But just please stop over here on your way out the door. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Attorney Gelman. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn, moved by Councilperson Michael Ward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Urban. The special council meeting for Tuesday, April 12, 2022 is adjourned at, all in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. I appreciate it. The special council meeting for Tuesday, April 12, 2022 is adjourned at 7:41 p.m.